Bob and Rocco grew up in St. Louis. They knew each other from elementary school,
Oh, wow.
and they grew up in St. Louis. And Bob was into music. Bob's dad died when he was 13, and so his outlet was just getting completely immersed in music. And he would go to the St. Louis Public Library, and they had a great jazz collection, and they had a wonderful librarian who was in charge of purchasing music for that collection. And so Bob would listen to something and say, oh, I think you ought to buy this or you ought to buy that. And she did. So he was able to really build, when you're young and you're listening to something over and over and over. And he started with Ray Charles. And, because Ray Charles Band is a jazz band, really, when you think about it. So that's how he got hooked on music. And he would go with his friend, as some father would take them to some jazz club, and they let them sit in the back and drink Cokes and hear live music. And then when he got to Harvard, he got involved with the Harvard radio station. And he had a jazz show, and eventually became the director of that station, WHRB. And it was an all-night show on Saturday night. So he would have jazz musicians come in, and he'd interview them. And, they'd get free records, you get free concert tickets. And that was how it all started. And then when he got to law school, all of this was happening, on the very side of his life. Um, they called him from the Phoenix and said, we'll give you some free tickets to hear, I don't even know who it was. Will you write about it? And that's how he got started writing. He never studied writing. He just, had by then, and he was just his knowledge was just growing and growing and growing.